Okay, prohibition against lying. Yeah. Another, if living beings in the six worlds of the system, after cleanse their bodies and minds from killing, stealing, and carnality, continue to lie, they will fail to realize samadhi and will become demons, filled with pride and prejudice. As a result, they will lose the Tathagata seat, and in their search for worldly fames, will claim that they have achieved and realized what really they have not. They boast of their duration of the states of Sutta Ampanam, Sadagamin, Anagamin, Arhat, and Patiya Buddhas and sensations of Bodhisattva developments in order to attract believers who will make offerings to them for the atonement of sins. These unbelievers will destroy the Buddha's seat as easily as cutting into the trunk of palms with a sharp chopper to stop it from growing. The Buddha predicts that these people will destroy their excellent roots, will not derail common sense, will sink into the three oceans, realms of sufferings, and will never achieve samadhi. So it's common sense, right? If someone tell lie, there's no way for them to have a straight mind, right? And there's no way for them to realize the samadhi because their mind is moving, right? Their mind is changing from moment to moment. There's no stable mind, and there's no way for them to achieve anything. But they told people that they achieve to that fourth stage of arhatship, and the solitary Buddha and even the sensei Bodhisattva. Um, for the sake of fames or donation. So, you know, the word Achantika, we talked about that before.
Yes. But they hold extreme views. Like they
Yes,
don't believe in karma.
yes,
Mhm.
yeah. So this type of people, yeah, they don't believe in Buddhism. They don't believe in the incarnation, law of karma. Uh, I don't know whether I told you about in the Nirvana Sutra before the second translation in China. So that version of Nirvana Sutra mentioned that Echantika doesn't have Buddha nature, so there's no way for them to attain Buddhahood. That's the first version of Nirvana Sutra. But there's one monk. He say no, even Echantika still have the Buddha nature. So people laugh at him, and people kick him out of the temple. But he say, well, if I say this things as true, please, uh, I have the wish that I passed away when I was teaching on the platform. You understand that? So he made a vow. If his words is true, so may he pass away while he was teaching on the chair or on the platform. You follow
Mhm.
that? So what happened then? Yes, the monks at the temple kicked him out because they didn't believe what he said. So he went to the mountain and talked with the rock, and he said, "Well, Echantika has Buddha nature. Is that right?" So somehow the rock uh, 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 agree with him by making the move, according to legend. So later on, when they have the second version of translation of that sutra, in that second version, they mention yes, the Chantika has Buddha nature, so people recognize his wisdom and invite him back. to the temple to teach. So on the verse of his death, while he was teaching, so he passed away while he sat there according to his wish. So that's what relate to this story. So here, uh, so what do you think? Let's say all the people, I mean that the non-Buddhist people, if they don't believe in incarnation, they don't believe in karma and so forth. Uh, can we name them as Echantika? What do you think?
Well, I think Ichantika has a sense that they are also maybe aware of the teachings of the Buddha, but they reject them. And they're kind of willfully against those teachings. So perhaps someone who's never been exposed to them, maybe they don't count as an ikantika, but I'm not sure.
Not sure. So let's say,
Yeah.
yeah, let's say in Buddhist view, yeah, we talk about Buddhist view, not other people views, other tradition view. Let's say the non-Buddhist right, or the devout Christian, so they only believe in one God, nothing else. Will we consider them as Echantika?
I'm not sure if we would or wouldn't.
Mm. So that's okay. Yeah. So
Would they be considered as ichikantikas?
no, no, it's not because some of them they do good deed too.
Mhm.
Echantika, they don't believe in the incarnation, they don't believe in the law of karma, and they don't do any good deed.
Mm.
That's what they call Echantika. So yeah, even the non-Buddhists, they still have good roots. They still have people, right? They're still generous, so we cannot brand them as Echantika, right? Unless they do horrible things. Mm. Yeah, so again, the Buddha say that these people will destroy their root. Um, yeah, so and here will never achieve samadhi. Is that in conflict with the sense that the Buddha say that everyone can attain Buddhahood, or even the Buddha in the Lotus Sutra gave the petition that everyone can attain Buddhahood and become Buddha future. So will this kind of sentence uh,
Mm.
conflict with what the Buddha say in different sutra like Lotus Sutra? What do you think?
Well, I think it's saying if they, so in the beginning it says, if they continue to lie. So people who continue to lie will never achieve samadhi. I don't think that contradicts, but if they continue to lie, they'll experience the karma of that. And then the karmic retribution will gradually cause them to give up lying. And then eventually they will achieve Buddhahood, but not so long as they continue to lie.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so that as much as they continue to lie, there's no way for them achieve the even samadhi, right? Not talking about the Buddhahood, right? Mm. Yeah, please.
I now command bodhisattvas and arhats to appear in the Dharma ending age after my nirvana, in all appropriate transformation bodies to save those caught in the wheel of samsara. They should come as monks, lay disciples, princes, ministers, boys, girls, and even prostitutes, widows, rogues, thieves, butchers, peddlers, etc., to keep company with them and praise the Buddha Dharma in their presence, so as to convert them and urge them to practice it. In doing so, they should not disclose that they are true bodhisattvas and arhats. They will not reveal to the beginners the Buddha's esoteric cause, but when they are about to die, they will secretly show some proof of their enlightenment to increase their disciples' faith in the Dharma. How then can such persons deceive living beings by telling deliberate lies?
Hmm. So this one is different, right?
Yes.
Hmm.
So this is an appearance for the sake of benefiting living beings. So it's not lying for personal benefit, but it's it's taking on an appearance that's in alignment with the Buddha way, which is to work to establish all living beings in complete and total enlightenment. So even though they're bodhisattvas and they don't reveal that, they keep that hidden, that is not the sort of lying that the Buddha is talking about being problematic, because the spirit of that, um, it's not necessarily even a lie because they're just taking on that appearance. But the spirit is in alignment with the Buddha way.
So there's no way for Theravada monks could accept this type of idea. Boy, girl, thief, butcher, and so forth can teach
Mhm.
Dharma. There's no way for them to accept that.
Right.
Yeah, there's no way.
And I think even for, myself, it's difficult in some ways. We've discussed examples of people who are, in positions of teaching, like uh, venerable masters who don't follow the precepts and who have kind of roguish behavior. Um, but still, perhaps that draws them close to particular people who they're able to positively influence, and perhaps it's the appearance is deceiving and it's an expedient means.
Mhm.
um,
Can you imagine
yeah.
that butcher can teach a Dharma?
It's pretty wild, yeah, because killing, yeah, we just went over how one should abandon killing.
I remember there's a Zen story. So it related butcher. So one day, so I think two Zen teachers, two Zen masters, they are Dharma brothers. So somehow they passed by a market and they saw a butcher who used a knife to cut off the meat of the pig. So one uh, actually I think probably a student, a teacher. So a student point out, I I want to hit. See that this is a big one. When they split up, when the butcher used the knife to cut the meat, so it won't
Mhm.
be even, right? So it won't. We have the larger portion and the smaller portion, right? So
Mhm.
the student say, "Oh, here, you see, that's the last portion of the meat." And I think the semester say, "Which one is larger?" At that moment, the student recognize the student have some kind of visualization. It's strength. You follow? Do you follow how he realized how he have a kind of realization up to that conversation? What do you think?
Yeah, well, between like in Zen, they commonly talk about how large and small in the the Great Way, there's no difference between large and small. They have no relevance.
That's the point, right? So when the student point out, here, this is a large portion of the meat, right? The master say, which one is larger, which one is smaller? At that moment, the student recognize in the absolute way, right? There's no smaller, there's no larger. That's why he realized the way because of the butcher. Right? It's really funny. So I love this kind of Zen story. It is really mundane story, but somehow it awake them, right? Um,
Yeah, it's unexpected. Absolutely, because there's like the sound of a bell or something, or a river or or a mountain, but a pig being butchered is a wild way.
wow. But that type of relation can happen any times, any moment, any place, to anyone else, right? It won't wait until we go back to the temple. Won't wait for us to go to to the room that we stay inside and pray. It's happened any times. We have some kind of realization depend upon the situation, right? Sometimes it's the matter of uh, it's a matter of time, and so depend upon our wisdom. I put this way here. Oh, okay. Let me tell you this way. This example. So just yesterday, so our uh, our resident nun, she want to go out to apply for the passport so that she could go back to Vietnam on time. So she asked the monk, right, to drive her. Of course, there's no more. And for me, I didn't pay attention. And for that monk, I don't want to say it's the name here because we record. So it's normal for him. Okay, so yeah, he could drive her to the what do you call it? The USCS USCIS where she's supposed to apply for the passport. But somehow, in one incident, we recognize that there's no way for one monk can drive a nun together in the car.
Mm.
That so
Yeah.
sometimes it's happen naturally. We don't pay attention until something occur. We remember who we are. We have
Mm-hmm.
relation. That's what I mean, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's say sometime, for common people, eating meat is normal, right? But eating at the temple because that's a serious matter to depend upon how we recognize us. I
Yes.
remember,
Yeah.
I remember that with this one boy from New Jersey. Somehow he brought the instant noodle with chicken recipe, right? The student
Mm-hmm.
here, they yell to him, "Hey, the temple, this temple, you're not supposed to eat this type of chicken noodle here."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they recognize right away. So anyway, so go back here. Uh, when we talk about generation, yes, sometimes we may not need to do the meditation, do the prayer, do the chanting and so forth, but this happened right in front of us. And sometimes other people, whether boys, girls, and so forth, right, the thieves, the prostitute, can remind us what's going on, right? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
uh, for the first few years when I became Buddhist monk, there's no way for me to believe this. But of course, eventually, it's so reasonable, it's so logical. In life, we cannot judge people based upon their appearance, right? Based upon their profession, occupation, and so forth. We need to recognize their characters, right? That's more.
Mm-hmm.
um, But majority of people they judge others based on the physical appearance, right? On the status, on the wealth, and so forth. That's why they get stuck. They can move on. Mm, yeah.
Yes.
So it's just easy for us to explain for those people who judge those people based on other other appearance, status, nationality, and so forth. How could we remind them then?
Mm. Well, I think there's plenty of examples of people who have a have had a very elevated status in society and who make plenty of money and who ended up really causing a lot of pain and problems for people. You know, we had Harvey Weinstein, um, Epstein was another big case in the news. There was an osteopath, Dr. Nassar, who causes a lot of people a lot of problems. So yeah, role doesn't determine anything. You can have a person with a heart of gold who has hardly anything and who's not very smart, but who is honest and sincere and takes care of the people that he can take care of or she can take care of. And you can have a person who's really smart and has plenty of money, but just takes advantage of anyone they can.
Mm.
Um,
I
so I
remember.
think it's easy for people to see that, and I think in any profession the same thing is true. Someone maybe a butcher not because they want to be a butcher, but just because that's all they had.
Mhm. Yeah, I remember that when I was living in the refugee camp in Malaysia, we have big camp inside Kuala Lumpur, that's the capital of Malaysia. So we stay in the big room where they set up many double beds so people can live together in that big rooms. It's like a dome, the dormitories.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that at that time we were still young, probably 17, 18. So every morning around 5 o'clock, I wake up and rush myself to the temple. We in the camp. It's about 5 minutes walk. 5 minutes of walking from that dormitory to the temple, Buddhist temple. So one day somehow I I was so in rush that I forgot to brush my teeth. And guess what? The old ladies, I remember that, who was a Christian, and she mentioned to me that, well, you need to brush your teeth before you go to the temple. Yeah, it's I remember that. So somehow, even the non-Buddhists, they can remind us to do something else meaningful. Yeah, yeah. The more I think about that, the more I recognize it's so applicable, it's so practical. If we're so rigid, right? Or um, you should speak Dharma only when you become Buddhist monk and nun. You get stuck with that. Or you should help people when you have enough money, right? Or you should do this and that. You should judge people this and that. There's no way. That's why it's go against Buddhist principle. We have to have that kind of wisdom. Yeah. Okay, so
Mhm.
next one here. Mm. You should teach worldly men who practice samadhi not to lie. This is called the Buddha's profound teaching of the fourth decisive deed. Ananda, if blind is not stopped, the practice of dhyana samadhi is like copying in an instrument sandalwood statue and expecting it to be fragrance, which is impossible. I teach the visual to develop a straightforward mind, which is the temple enlightenment, and to be righteous in their common acts of daily life, while walking, standing, sitting, and relaxing. How can a lion pretend that he has realized the supreme Dharma? This is like a poor man proclaim himself as a king. He is only invite trouble and misfortune. Still less can he usurp the throne of the king of the law. If the culture route is false, its fruit will be distorted, and the quest for Buddha enlightenment will become impossible. So again, there's no way. So the Buddha says like so someone pays the excrement on the sandalwood statue. There's no way. It'd be horrible smell, right?
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, it's so important. The Buddha say, a straightforward mind is a temple enlightenment, not a temple. So I used to quote this sentence to remind people, as much as we have straightforward mind, as much as we are trustful people, that's we do our own temple there, right? because that's the pure mind there. So there's the way for us to realize the way if we still lie. And again, if a poor man claim himself as a king, he will be executed. Right? Uh, um, anyway, so it's so straightforward, right? Mm.
Yes, sir.
So what do you think? How serious is that? How serious the liar? Uh, if people keep lying, uh, so how how do they develop progress in their practice then? What do you think?
Yeah. Well, certainly some lies have bigger impacts than others. They'll like hurt other people more. Um, and probably if we're lying to others at some point, we're hiding things from ourselves too. We're not willing to face something directly. And samadhi seems to be a state where everything is unfolded. There's nothing hidden. And so if we're practicing a way of a mind state where we're hiding something, then we're really, identifying with impermanent phenomena,
Mm.
and willing it's like a willingness to sacrifice that possibility of enlightenment for trying to maintain some sort of material situation, or status or some sort of impermanent phenomena. So it makes sense that it'd be incompatible with achieving samadhi.
But one thing, is it easy or it's pretty hard to be trustful person to say the truth all the time? It's not easy to, right? This kind of environment, this kind of society.
I I think, um let me see. I guess the time when it would be hard to be truthful is when our, like, say my interests conflicted with Lisa, like my wife. So say I want to do something, but I know she doesn't want me to do it. So if I go and do it anyways, I don't want to deal with telling her I did it and deal with the conflict. So then I could have a motivation to lie to her. So I guess it depends how strong my desires are.
Mhm.
If I'm willing to overcome my knowing that I shouldn't lie, uh, to like chase after some sort of desire. So I think how easy or hard it is relative to how strongly someone desires something. If desire is really light, then what would we ever have a reason to lie about? What would there'd be nothing that we wanted that we would need to lie about.
Yeah, but sometimes if we say the truth, it may be hurtful for other people, right? If they make mistake, right? So Buddha say that we need to be careful to see if they trust us. In my view, yeah, if people trust me, the more they trust me, the more I tell them. The lesser they trust me, the lesser I tell them. If they don't trust me, I don't need to tell them anything.
Hmm.
It's reasonable, right? This is accord with the people wish, right?
Yeah, and being compassionate and exercising wisdom.
If they don't trust us, no matter what we say, whether the true or not, they won't trust us. They don't believe us, right? If they just trust us little, in my view, that that little thing that's they just need. You just share with them little. If they want us to share everything with a sincere mind, yes, we can do. So it's echo with their need then. Okay, so let's stop here today. Okay, and
Okay. Okay.